Hello folks, my name is Jeff Button, and today I'm going to be doing some wire wrapping. I'm going to be doing two Tree of Life pendants for some friends in the Go community, and I'm just going to show you some of my stuff that I'm working on. I started working on early last spring, but just haven't got back to it, been so busy doing other things, but I want to try to get back in the groove and doing some of my jewelry crafting that I've been doing. So let's go take a look at what we got. So first of all, we've got this project here. I started. This is going to be for my daughter, and you can see this is all copper, and I actually made these rings from my work. And this one I have here, I'm planning on making for my mother. I got the wires cut already. They're up there. Added these features to it, gives it an extra little shine, and that's going to look similar to this. So this is the spring version. Must be at the blossoms. Today I'm going to be doing one that's like that, but smaller, about maybe the size of these rings, and I'll also be doing a fall one. So this is some of my equipment and my table I work with. I have this one little lamp here, but I don't know where my other one went to. Just disappeared somewhere, but I have a bunch of tools here. And copper wire that I'll be using today. These are some of the different pieces of rose quartz. And every once in a while I'll mix in a clear piece. And over here I have my stickers for my channel, and see if I can get a better view of one of my chips here. The lighting is one of my poker chips. So this is some of the chain I use. I have rolls of different types that I use in part of the edging. You can see this one here is a little bit different, I think. Maybe it's just because it's discolored some. And sometimes I might use patina on some of these to give it an antique look, or like it just natural, or you can highlight it. It's different things you can use. I don't know where I got these little plastic containers, they're nice. Covers of my mouthwash, all used for storing some stuff. These pieces of the scrap brass wire that I take off. Over here I got some of these nice little prong things here for crimping things down, and I'll use tape to help hold some stuff down at times. Handy to have a tape measure, but this matting here has millimeters here, so I can measure out. It's quite handy when you're trying to do a bunch of the wires. These ones already have split part in half, so it's ready to go. And then I keep a bunch of tools in here. So I have various tools, more clamps. I got this for pounding the copper, and a little hammer. This for making different ring sizes. Of course, in here I have another thing similar to that, and it has a different ring size. I haven't really done a whole lot with that yet, and use it for other types of wire wrapping for things I've done. There's a rose quartz here. There's rose quartz, if we can get a better light on that. Right? Magnifying glass, different roll things. Here's another rock I polished. And yeah, so these I made these. They're all pounded down, so they're flat on the surface. So I don't know if you can see it, but flattened down. So I pound that down. And have these glasses and other things. So I've done some drilling on rocks and then put rings in them so I can make other pendants sometimes. I have this handy vise here, which is quite nice. Pivots different ways. I've used it for doing some of my soldering work when I built my solar generator. And I'll use some of the times I just find different shapes, rounded things, so I can make my rings, different size rings. Of course, I might find a little plastic container I can store a bunch of my stones temporarily. And over here, I brought this over here so I can get a better view. These are just some lapis lazuli. I haven't really done anything, but potentially I could drill holes in them, and if I feel like wrapping them, here's one of my earlier wraps I did. I gave a bunch of them away, and the pendants on it. So I drilled a hole in it, and that one I did, and done various wraps. These ones I just drilled and glued these connectors in them. That one almost looked like a shark tooth. But different ones. So this, of course, it's always good to write information down. This is a project I was working on for, I made a design. And over here I have all these are quite handy stacks of boxes to hold all my jewelry in. These can just snap like that, peel the cover off. Different stones I have. I have these set up so they're kind of in categories. So that's that. And that's going to be stones probably going to use. Different size wiring. Other wiring here. And I have various different like little trinket things in this one. There's eyes in there that I might make from jewelry crafting. Some really fancy beads, especially down here. These are quite fancy and more expensive ones. Some of these come in nice pretty bags. They're already bracelets already, so I won't say to take some of them apart, but I've made some various different things. I'll show you in a second. And then I have, this is some of my aluminum craft stuff. So I got different colors, and I made some like blowing in the wind type of trees, wind-swept trees. I'll close that afterwards. And you can see right there, there's some of the ones I made. There's a weeping willow one I put on a rock. That tree there. This little tree here, one I made. Various colors. And this one I made. I think that's got amethyst on it. I got these little follow things I made with the beads. So I plan on making a fancy one with some of the beads. For be up by my son's urn. And that one, I got the sun right in my eyes. And this one was made with lapis lazuli. I used the copper wire to make the ring, but I'm gonna use something different for the bigger ones. And finally, until we get going here and start our project, I'll show you. I get these crosses. These ones already have the holes in them. There's holes that you can get side to side or this way, so it depends on how you want to put your pendant. But I do wire wrapping with these ones, and I've done a bunch with for my family, and I've done it like maybe for their birthstones or whatever, and added some of the stones to it, and do a fancy little wire wrap as well. Okay, let's get ready to set up for the project. Okay, so I got some of the supplies out, but I thought that ring that I wanted to use was bigger. These are not what I wanted. I wanted it to be more of a pendant. So these are kind of big, and these just seem too small. These are handy. They're solid, so they don't bend, which is nice. They don't give that quite as that authentic look. I mean, I use them in some projects. The thing I don't like about them is because they're so slippery. Sometimes it's harder to hold the wire on them than the ones that I make. So, like I said, these are kind of small. I'm going to go with the ridge of this. That'll be quite a bit bigger. So that should work nice. So this is going to be like the fall one. And you can see I made this one. I might not do this on here. I don't know. We'll see. It's a lot of work. But I'll try to whatever. I mean, basically, these always turn out different for me, but get the loop idea kind of going. I want it to be so they could either wear it as a pendant or they can just maybe hang it from a visor or whatever. So this is a representation of a maple tree that we had in our yard. And the kids used to swing in the tire swing. There's a closer look at the nicer background. So I'll be using there's 14 gauge of copper wire, copper dead soft wire. This is round, and again I'll end up pounding it. So these, when I buy them, purchase them, they're almost too much light here, but these, they're on like a fishing string. Some of them are already taken off, and I'll pour enough what I might think I might use. There's an assortment of different colors. Look at moonstone. This is citron here. That's moonstone. I'm not sure what that is. This is some type of lobster stuff. So that one is. That one's almost like kind of painted on, but I don't know what it is. Not painted, but it does rub off on your fingers. And different shades of different colors for fall. Alright, well, we'll set up some more for getting the rings ready.